Hey everyone, Dr. Foster, the success coach with MaximumChange.com. Got a question for you. Does your operating system need to be updated? Is your operating system out of date? Now, before we go any further, I wanted to be clear. I'm not talking about the operating system on your smartphone, your tablet, your computer. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the iOS or Android that you have running in the background, or your Microsoft Windows. I'm not talking about Linux. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the operating system in your brain. Now, research has come a long way in the study of the brain, and what we have learned is that if you take a child at a very young age, like from birth till about 7 years old, their brain receives a lot of information. In fact, I was listening to a study today, and they were talking about how at that age group where they're using their imagination, their creativity to play, that's all about programming the subconscious mind, programming what's going on behind the scenes. And that's why you hear the old monk saying that if you give me a child till the age of 7, I will make him a man, and I'll make him who he will be. And so what I'm asking is, does your operating system need to be updated? Does your brain need to be updated? If you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, everything that happened to you in childhood is part of who you are. And in fact, the areas that you're struggling in, this is key. Now, the areas that you struggle in are very much a product of the programming that your operating system received at such an early age. In fact, if you read Rich Man, Poor Man, that book by Kiyosaki, you can find that he's talking about if you're poor growing up, you're likely to stay poor and perpetuate that generationally. And likewise, if you're rich, you're likely to stay rich, because that is perpetuated throughout the generations as well. So this is my job as a coach, as a business coach. Part of what I do every day with my clients is I talk to them about how to reprogram their operating system, their brain, their bOS, or I like to also call it the MOS, little MOS. Their mind's operating system, their brain's operating system. Because we believe the lies that we have perpetuated within ourselves over time. In fact, we inherited some of those lies. We watch our parents struggle and say, I will never amount to anything, or I will never break out of this bondage of debt or whatever. And the truth is that our subconscious mind has taken that information to be true. And in fact, when we try to change that operating system, our brain goes into defense mode because it thinks there's something wrong. And so we have to figure out ways to reprogram the operating system. And here's the problem with it. I worked for a software company early on in my career. And I was around programmers all the time. They'd sit there all day and they'd type, and they'd come up with these creative strings of numbers and signs and words that made absolutely no sense to me. But they were programming the computer to do something that was three-dimensional modeling. So it was very complex. And here's what I learned about working for a software company. They could write thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code and make one mistake. We call it a bug in the real world, a software bug. They call them enhancements, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that there is something broken in the program. And so they'd have to go and figure out where it was, and then they'd have to try to fix it, and sometimes it wouldn't work, or it'd break something else, and so they had to figure out a way to fix that. The same thing goes for our brain's operating system. We have to find systems and methodologies that will help us to recreate or rewrite those things that are in error within us. Okay, so here's a technique that I want to encourage you to do. It's called repetition. This is not earth-shattering, groundbreaking, nothing like that. Repetition. That's why you find people will repeat their daily devotionals, that they'll claim things, they'll write things and hang them on the wall and repeat them over and over again. The way to change your operating system is small increments of change. And that means that every day you have to get up and you have to write in your gratitude journal. You have to write what you're grateful for. You have to write your goals out. You have to do your affirmations every day over and over again. And in fact, one of the things that I do is I go to my my phone when I go to the gym, and I turn it on to, this is really cool, I turn it on to Spotify, and I'm going to tell you the channels that I listen to. If you have Spotify, go in there and type entrepreneurial or entrepreneur motivation. And I listen to either the entrepreneur and success motivation or the gym and bodybuilding motivation. I listen to more of the entrepreneur and business motivation. Now, there's some songs in there, like rap songs and things that I'm really not interested in, so I skip past them. But what's key here is that there are motivational speeches. These speakers get on and they talk about focus and change and sticking to the course. If you are an entrepreneur, every day you have to work really hard at reprogramming your operating system, because there's something within you, unless you were blessed to have a millionaire entrepreneur mom or dad who led the way, there's chances are that we have some bugs in our operating system, our programming. And so we have to every day incrementally work at changing that operating system. And part of this process is what I do as a coach is to help to identify stinking thinking, broken thinking, help to identify those areas of the operating system that maybe need to be tweaked or changed. My job is to motivate, encourage, inspire, provide methodologies and pathways and processes towards success. Success is not guaranteed to anyone who sets out on the path unless that person perseveres. So that's the second part of this equation. You have to be repetitive in what you do, whether it be your affirmations or gratitude or whatever it is, but you have to stay the course. You have to be persistent. Pursue, doggedly pursue. I heard this great story, actually it was on one of the motivational speeches, where a young man wanted to know what it was like to be a success, and an old man said, "Meet me at the beach." Maybe you've heard this story before. And then anyhow, the long story short is that the young man came to the beach dressed up in a suit and a tie, and he was like, "I'm going to be successful because this man's a millionaire." And the man told him to walk out into the water and keep going, keep going. And then the man was out in the water with him, and he started to hold the young man underwater until he couldn't breathe. And then the older gentleman let loose of him. And of course, the young man was furious. He said, "I came out here to learn how to be a success, and I got all dressed up, and all you did was go swimming and then try to drown me." And the old man said, "Your pathway to success is going to be that you fight for it, just as if it's your next breath of air." So if you truly want success, if you want everything that goes along with success, whatever that is defined for you, money, power, influence, the ability to be philanthropic, whatever it is for you, whatever success, I am not here to judge your definition of success, because everyone has a different one. What I'm here to tell you is my job as a coach, as your coach perhaps, is to lead the way, to show you how to reprogram your mental operating system, your brain's operating system every day. Listen, if you want help with that, just go to my website, MaximumChange.com. I'm Dr. Foster. I am the success coach with Maximum Change, and I would love to help you. I help entrepreneurs every day build their empires, and I want to help you. Reach out to me on my website. I have a place there where you can sign up for a free consult. I'd be glad to spend some time with you to see if coaching is right for you. Just check it out today. Hey, and if you like this video and the other videos we do, click the follow button, the like button, all those buttons down below. But more importantly, subscribe to this video on YouTube. And we try to update these videos every day. This is Dr. Foster, the Success Coach with MaximumChange.com. Have a great day.